Hey, it's Oscar from the Front of Colombo.
And Tom from Front of Colombo.
And you are listening to Run Spesh podcast, episode 1. And I'd like to say that it'd probably be weekly, but given those people that know Tom and I and our
Schedules,
also just the complete inability to follow through with the task due to various different ADHD activities. But hey, we're going to try and make this a weekly thing. And we're going to talk about our training and shoes,
other people's training, running in general, life.
Life is good, man.
Yeah.
And life is crazy. We had a kid like 3 weeks ago, so I genuinely look like I've been...
Not we.
Sorry. I look like I've been dragged over some hot coals and then beat with a bat full of nails. So, and in saying that, like, my wife's doing all the heavy lifting, so I'm doing fuck all.
We're here talking into Mike, so all's well on this end.
Sorry, babe.
Sorry,
Love
Katie.
You. So, how's your running, bro? What's happening?
Oh, well, it's getting there. It's getting there. It took a bit of a beating when I was over in Andorra helping out.
Bro, you were in Andorra. That's a sick story, and I think you should start with how the hell you ended up in Andorra, because that sounds like a drug deal gone wrong.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot for sure. Awesome spot. So pretty much, I had planned to go over to America mainly. That was the original.
They both start with A. I can see how you get confused.
Yeah. And the big US of A. And do some racing training of my own, which we did. We went through with that. Sadly, got a little bit banged up, so only managed one race, which was a little frustrating, but it's the way she goes. And then previously to that, I was actually just swimming in the pool and missed a call from the Craig Kirkwood.
His quote's on the wall in the shop, by the way.
He does live in this shop.
Yep.
Permanently.
Forever.
Yeah. And just knowing him through the running scene, and he asked if I'd like to go over and basically, he said be a training hack, but when you're training with Sam and Hayden, it's pretty hard to be a hack for them. It's more just for company than anything.
It's more just to make him a cup of coffee in the morning, right?
Yeah, no, Hayden actually does that every single morning.
You want one sugar or
makes
two,
a
Hayden?
good coffee.
Triathletes do though. When we
3 or 4 a day.
That's a lot of caffeine. His nervous system is fried.
Yeah.
But I would say that's a thing with triathletes.
Yeah.
When
it is.
we were training up at Snow Farm and I'm talking the olden days because I'm old now, but like TD and Dodsey and Sisson and stuff, those guys had that coffee machine so hard.
Yeah. Oh, he loves it, and he's really good at it too. He's bought his own machine, big doozy of a thing, and so pretty much went over there pre Paris. Hayden lives there over the New Zealand winter, and has an apartment, but I think currently looking for another house to settle down there. Random place. Never been to Andorra. Hadn't really heard much about it. It's basically one road in, one road out. You enter
This
Andorra.
is straight up sounding like a drug.
Wow. And we'll get to that. The bottom of the border is Spain, which is you enter from Spain, which is about 700 meters elevation, and then drive straight up to the top of the mountain, which is two and a half basically 1,000 meters, and drop down through the border into France.
Have you I'm gonna stop. Have you seen that Instagram reel of in the NBA where they've got like the commentators, the fake commentator, and the guy does the Euro step, and he's like, "Where the fuck are you going?" Like this is what it is. You're like, and we were in Spain, and then we were some other place, and then we were 700 meters above sea level, and then I had no pants on.
Yeah, pretty much. And to answer the drug question, you drive through the borders, and there are cars that have just been parked on the side of the road at the borders, which I think Hayden believed were the drug cars that were getting stopped from entering Andorra.
Oh, shit.
So there are quite a few of them. But aside from that side of it, it was a pretty epic experience. So basically just lived with Haydo, trained with him for about 5 weeks before Sammy Tanner, Olympian 1,500 meters, came over with Kirkwood and then joined him with them. Sadly, had a bout of food poisoning. And
you're the unluckiest guy.
And that knocked me around for a good week, and then tried to get back into it, and the old Achilles flared up, which was quite ironic because Sam himself was battling an Achilles issue at the time. So we tried to manage it as best we could, and then ended up just doing lots of swimming and biking with Hayden, trying to swim, not actually swimming with Hayden. He's a lot faster than me, and same on the bike. But
Guy's a fish. He's not a flopping salmon.
yeah, no, he's
a
very,
fish.
he's very fast swimmer, and people don't give him enough credit for that because he's rapid. And yeah, riding around there was absolutely insane.
You were saying there's some of the pro cyclists.
Yeah, so basically not all of them, but most of the pro teams are based there over, well, most of them live there actually. So every day it was just getting out and you'd see Tour de France riders riding around the streets.
That's unreal way.
Biking up past and
they're probably not getting too close to those drug cars. They're not going near that.
They stay in Andorra. Yeah, but this is a pretty crazy experience seeing all those guys and yeah, just I guess living the professional lifestyle for a bit, which was something I've always really wanted to try and seemed to work fairly well aside from the little hiccups with injuries, and came back reasonably fit on the swimming and biking side of things, and the running's taking over now. Just a bunch of tendonitis, which is pretty typical.
Bro, what isn't tendonitis?
Yeah, what isn't tendonitis? Yeah, pretty typical for the.
I reckon you could put me in one of those
runners.
like MRI machines.
There'd be stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
Every tendon or they'd have some sort of inflammation sitting around it. But yeah, that's where the running is at the moment. Just taking back into it really, and road relays, next big running race, I guess.
We should probably save that till next week, so we have something to talk about.
Yeah, we'll skip over that one.
So what is the running, the difference between when you're running, say you're getting ready to run, I don't know, 1,500, 5K, and then running for triathlon, like big differences there for training for you?
Well, I guess going off what I witnessed with Hayden was fairly similar, honestly. Like you could put his running program down to a normal kind of distance runner's week. He just adds all the other stuff in, so makes it up to closer to 30 hours a week.
That's a lot of hours, man.
Yeah, it's a full-time job.
That's a lot of hours.
But yeah,
Tom's version of a full-time job. It's 10 hours short.
yeah. Well, we're skipping the gym and all the other commitments, but yeah.
Massage counts.
Yes.
Massage counts.
Massage does count.
Hours.
It's recovery.
Yeah.
Physio counts too.
Yeah.
I would say more on the running front, spending time with the OAC guys. So OAC is a professional group based in Boulder. They were the first on running professional crew. And that was probably where the biggest difference, I guess, I noticed in the running scene from New Zealand / Oceania to that professional level. The big jump, I guess, is what we all talk about, what it takes and how differently they're operating, I guess, at that.
It's the recovery, eh?
Olympic level. And yeah, a lot of it is the recovery. They have a lot more time during the day to recover and do the little things that you don't have when you've got a full-time job or even a part-time job. But yeah, it's still, I would say the week still stemmed based around 2 key workouts, a long run and then easy jogging. The big difference, I guess, I noticed was their easy jog is a lot faster than our easy jog. And whether that's a good or a bad thing, I'm not sure. But yeah, like running with them, and this is at altitude as well, which is another strain on the body, a stress on the body that you don't have at sea level. We jog around the park at, I guess, between 420 and 430 pace, and that's easy.
That's per K for the American.
Yeah, per K. Yeah. So that's our easy jog.
7-minute mile pace.
Yeah, going over there, it was closer to 350s was their easy day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
345s.
I guess you just lie around, drink coffee and chocolate. In between sessions.
But I say it's the easy, and people go like, "How's that easy?" Like that's up.
Yeah, but they can run 329, 1500.
That was easy for them.
Yeah,
and they were not stressing. They were talking. Yeah. So for them, that is easy. And I think that's probably one of the key differences I noticed, because that's just the level that they're at. And then their workouts, they have all the time in the world to do these workouts, so they can afford the longer rests and they can manage them, and ultimately I think get more stimulus within one workout. than we could probably do.
Yeah, and get the stimulus, but then also get the adaptation by
Yeah.
chilling afterwards, or
Instead of
you know.
rushing off to work or
and they I guess because they're the group, right? You get the benefit of the group. And I guess that's double-edged sword, right? Some people benefit heaps from the group. Some people train too hard in the group. I guess we saw that maybe with some Olympic results, but
No, it was very interesting to see like how everyone performed, and obviously spending time with them, and then with Hato as well, it was different again. I guess on the triathlon side of things, he seemed to do his runs. His easy runs were a little bit slower, I would say, but that's also because of the terrain in Andorra was very hilly, not a lot of flat and a lot of trail. But then, just a lot more sustained effort, I feel like. I guess this probably isn't what he does year round, because it was very specific training camp for the Olympics. And it was a game plan to try take down Alex Yee. Unfortunately, came up short, but I think we laid out Kirkwood and himself, and then me and Sammy being part of that, laid out a pretty good game plan. And I think unfortunately the heat did become a factor, which wasn't really, I guess, addressed because it didn't need to be, because the race was supposed to be at 8 a.m. and then it got pushed to almost 11. So I think it was about 10 or 12 degrees hotter than what we were anticipating. And unfortunately, everyone else was in the same situation. But it's heat training, as Oscar knows.
Bro.
It's something you actually have to train for. And
it's like walking down an aisle, you turned up to the wrong wedding, and man,
once it goes south, it just
this looks normal, but
it goes south real quick. And just having brief calls with Hato afterwards, he felt amazing, I think, until around 8k of that run, and then was in survival mode from then on out. Just lights were out and legs were empty. But
as an athlete too, you're like
it all on the line. There was
as an athlete, you're like, buddy, and you can, what do we call them, like penis legs? Like, they was coming, man. You could just rock him back. Come on, bro, get that. Unreal finish though. Unreal.
Yeah.
I don't even know, how did we get talking about this? I don't know.
I think you asked me about triathlon training, but that I think, this is probably biased, but one of the races of the games, I would say.
100%. Like 100%.
Yeah, the amount of people I've had just in Christchurch alone that have been like, holy hell, did you see that triathlon?
I legitimately had to do a meditation to get to sleep. My aura was like, you are stressed. What are you doing?
The heart rate was through the roof for the whole 2 hours of BPM. And I think that's the cool thing about that kind of race and how Hayden races. It's like he said in Super League just recently, he doesn't like to sit around and do nothing. He likes to make it hurt. He likes to put everyone else in the hurt box and try win it that way, which I think he'll continue to do for years to come. But
nice.
So that's a little bit about that. Back in the chair now. So.
We'll be here, and it's all right. Like,
it's been good. No, it's been good.
Sunday was hot. Do you know? And to come running Auckland Marathon. Yeah. And it was a real good idea at the time. I was like, run a marathon, it'd be unreal. But trying to train for a marathon with a newborn, wow. Yeah. That's some next level. Yeah, and like I said, I'm not even really doing much heavy lifting. I'm just hanging out with that 8-year-old daughter and doing some dishes and cooking food and stuff. Yeah. But so we did, like on Sunday, we're like, okay, like I've only got 8 weeks. I need to start like a short block of training. And so I was like, okay. And I always like approach training with what is the race going to demand of me? Like you were talking about with Haydon. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, Auckland's quite hilly for those people that haven't run in Auckland, like Devonport is. You get a good 300 meters of vert through there, right? And the bridge is like not flat. And the bridge is early. Like for the half, it's obviously late. Yeah. But for the marathon, you're like, fuck, I got like 28k to go. Holy shit, that's a long way. I'm a third of the way through the race and I've got to climb over this thing. And so I was like, well, let's do 2 by 30 minutes from the Summit Road. And that's cool in the middle of June when it's cold, right? Yeah. And you're on the bike with Sax, but it was windy. It was windy. and I've been playing with that Nick's sweat monitor after the Gold Coast experience. Turns out I'm sweating like 2,000 megs of sodium an hour, so that's some next level shit. Yeah.
We could talk about that too. That'd be quite interesting to hear your thoughts on.
Yeah, but so it's 2 by 30, and I was like, this is a good session to start back. That's a big session. We ran like 36k
along the Summit Road.
And Chris is 3 weeks he's 3 weeks ahead of me in training.
Yeah.
Because I come off a block of like reverse periodization, VO2 stuff, just because if someone told me to run another 40-minute tempo, I was going to walk into the Pacific and not come back.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And so we ran, I don't know, we averaged like 320s along the tops. And for those people that haven't been on the summit roads, we covered 880 meters of vert in 2 hours and 18 minutes with a 40-minute warm up, 40-minute warm down. So like marathon specific, so big session. So I'm feeling like cooked. Then to go home and Piran after that,
I don't know about that.
I would rather come to the shop. I would rather help customers in the shop. So for my running, obviously this week just started back into marathon training. So I reckon I'll get to 100 miles pretty close anyway.
Yeah.
Picked up a bit of a head cold. That's the other joy of having a kid at school, right?
Yeah.
Everything comes home, man.
Yeah.
Well, cool. No worries.
And I mean, I'm curious. I know a lot of other people would probably be curious about the sweat. Because I mean, I go down rabbit holes on fueling and all that carry on, as we all do. But I feel like sweat or hydration in general is probably a little less talked about than carb fueling.
I reckon that. Well, sodium's becoming a little bit of a buzzword, but I think it's just hard because people are like, sodium's going to kill you, man.
Yeah.
It's the devil, bro. It's like carbs. Like, carbs going to make you fat.
Yeah.
Well,
you need it.
like in principle, maybe, but you need it. So, and it only came about, the first 2 marathons I ran Auckland in 2016 and 2020, and then I ran Christchurch in 2019 and 2018, both of which before Super Shoes turned up. So go me. But I used SOS for both those marathons.
Yes.
Unbeknownst to me. So like SOS is, if you mixed it as it says, it's 1,200 megs of sodium per litre. And that's how we were mixing it back in the day. And I didn't cramp in those 2 marathons.
It's quite a bit of sodium.
Yeah, it's got like quite a bit. But for me, the focus was on carbs, right? Like, bro, I think I used lepin in Auckland.
Oh, God.
That's how old I am. There was like lepin and goo. Bro, and goo is like tart. Goo is what happens on a hot day when you park on a newly done street. And you're trying to eat that. I'm sorry, Goo. I'm sorry, Goo. It's like, that thing is sitting in me like a 2-ton croissant. So I used to end up using lepin. But the focus is on carbs, not on the sodium. So I think just like, without even realizing I've been using this product, SOS, which I helped start in the country, and it was just working, but I didn't probably think about it that much.
Yes.
And then when we ran that reboot one where I ran 216, I got cramp at 41k. I only used Morton.
Yeah.
It was quite a cool day. It was like 13, 14 degrees, like outstanding. I think Belchie ran 215 through something. Like unreal results, but cramp there. And then obviously when I went to the Gold Coast, I mean that was cooking. It was like 22 degrees on the finish line, and we'd come from 2. But I'd barely taken like 600 megs of sodium on. And if I was sweating similar conditions to Sunday, like 22 degrees, I was sweating 2,000 megs of sodium. That, bro,
got to replace it.
Those maths aren't working.
No.
That's like saying, it's like the counter Reeves memes, like 1 + 1 = 5. Well, it equals 2, but 5's cool, and it's just not going to work.
And correct me if I'm wrong. You need the sodium. You can't process the carbs if you're dehydrated as well.
It goes both ways, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Maybe we can get Jamie back on and talk that one over. But I'm pretty sure. I think we talked about it with how many you need, like 4 grams of carbs per whatever an hour of sodium to like cause that transaction in the cells. But I'm pretty sure it goes both ways. And the salts and minerals like are what's responsible for like muscle contraction and stuff. I mean, they don't really know what cramp is. But I think it's just because people are scared to say what it is.
It's dried out muscles.
Yeah, but you can feel it. Your blood goes like viscous, and you're like, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting. So this sensor measures what exactly? How much you sweat or your sweat rate?
Yeah, measures both. So it has its own algorithm, and I'd have to pull it up, but it's basically giving you total salt loss or electrolyte loss in terms of like sodium, potassium, magnesium. And it's got its own. So when it gives me a reading of like 2,100, that's like total loss. So it's basically saying like 50% of that sodium. So I need to be looking at like roughly 1,000 megs an hour of sodium to try and that's not to say you need to replace all of it either, but like you want to be shooting for somewhere close to that depending on the conditions. I think too, like I'm probably a bit musclier. My core body temp probably does get a bit hotter. That's just science, physics or whatever, like genetics stuff. So, but I found it real interesting. And I guess that just makes me aware of if I'm racing in the heat, what are my limits.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. I can't help the way I'm built. That's cool.
Yeah.
So maybe pick races that aren't going to be 22 degrees at the finish line. But then how can I limit that damage with the help of water and it gives you sweat rate too in terms of liquid loss. So it's like a litre. For me, it's just under a litre an hour.
Yeah.
Which I think that part's normal.
Yeah.
But it's the 2,000 megs of
Because I guess that's the thing you don't have with the carbs. Everyone kind of just goes off the body weight ratio, right? But there's no. Is there a way to test it without is there a sensor that they have on the market?
Oh no! You can use the diabetes, like the diabetic things.
Yeah.
They've banned them in the tour, haven't they?
I think so.
Because that was like unfair advantage.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about the Knicks, and this is not a Knicks ad, we don't even sell them in the shop, but the cool thing is, we probably should start actually, they're unreal, is you can download the app on your Garmin and it will tell you when to drink. So the cool thing, the thing I liked is information's good, but it's useless without an outcome.
Yes.
And so what I liked about it is how you sweat rates this, and then it gives you different types of electrolytes drinks that you should have based on your sweat rate and like lost water, salts and water. And so for me, it was they wanted me to have a Pedialyte sports drink or something. Like, so that would be putting in exactly what I'm sweating out.
Damn, this thing is rather handy.
So that's unreal. So, I mean, I don't think you can buy Pedialyte. Or it's one or the other. There's like one you can get in New Zealand, one you can't. I can't remember which way.
Pedialyte's American.
Yes. But then I can look at, so for SOS, if I mix that to 75% strength, that gets me real close to that that molecular level. Okay. So like that to me makes such good sense. Well, and hopefully it means that I stop bonking. Because honestly, Gold Coast was a fucking death match.
It's
like,
I wasn't
there.
Yeah,
you're like, sometimes you find yourself in situations, it's a little bit like being out in the town, and you're like, I should have had my last beer. Like it's like 2 a.m. You're like, okay, my wife's going to be mad, I'm late anyway, but I'm having fun with the boys. I probably should call it a night. That was me at 35K. It was either I'm going to muscle through till 5 a.m. and stay up. Or I'm going to pull the pin and fall asleep on a park bench.
And it does happen.
And I've never experienced a finish line like that, like in terms of just filling a rubbish bin of vomit. And I reckon I had renal failure or something. Like cramp in the back of my neck. You should not have cramp in the back of your neck.
Especially running.
Afterwards my nutritionist was like, well, maybe next time you should stop.
Or something,
you should stop. You should stop. So hey, look, it's been fun, and it should help me make better decisions because that's what we want out of this stuff. So
exactly. Well, pick some races, and then just I guess the peace of mind knowing that that's what you need. And you can handle it.
For me too, for training. So like training at a high level while maintaining a full-time job and a family, that's quite hard work. So the more information I can have of the stuff that's going to make me feel better day to day.
Oh, yeah.
That's
awesome how you can do it on the watch.
Yeah, that's a cheat code.
Yeah, especially when you're racing.
So I'm going to go like marathon sim. So tomorrow I'm going to run a Gibbies. Oh, Gibbies.
The bastard.
If you haven't run a Gib, how many Christchurch, like, if you haven't run a Gib, you're missing out. Well, are you missing out? I think you're missing out.
You should do it.
You should
do it.
But maybe in a car.
You should definitely do it.
So the true Gibbies is Taki to Taki. So you run from the side of the Taki up over Dyers, down into Governor's Bay, and then around Allendale, up Gibbies, up the bastard, back along the Summit Road, and back to Taki, which is 34K. If I'm fit, I'm covering that in 2 hours 15.
Yeah.
If I am dragging my ass, it's 2 hours 25, 2 hours 30. It is
pushes out
painful. So, but I think Matt's got me down tomorrow. Like we're going to cruise over to Governor's Bay and then hit a zone 2 from the bottom, and then climb well and then cruise back.
Damn, that'd be a big
session. But for me, it's like if I wear the monitor,
try it out.
Then I can like make sure that I'm fueling properly, so that when I got to turn up to Indy's football prize giving,
I'm not
an absolute waste of space. I mean, I'll be a sleep offer anyway, but at least I can offer something. Because you're right. Like the emphasis is a lot on carbohydrate. We'll probably talk about this enough. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's a topic that could be talked about for hours.
We should get Jamie. We should patch him in.
And further episodes.
Yeah, further, because we are into this weekly, even though.
Yeah. No, we'll aim for weekly.
I think we should definitely do weekly. Because anyway, so no, my runnings are right. It's took a bit of a hit in August.
All right, and speaking of running, we're going to talk about shoe rotation.
Oh yeah, because we are a shoe shop.
We are a shoe shop, and everyone loves
actually
a good
we're
shoe
the
rotation.
shoe shop. Did I say that out loud? I think I did.
I think you did.
I think I said that out
heard
loud.
that. So I guess
Throw me some
start
shoes.
with
Throw me some
everyday
shoes.
trainers.
Like, what is a shoe rotation, So a shoe rotation is basically a way for me to sell more shoes. No, I'm joking. Well, I'm joking.
I'll pull some random shoes off the shelf.
But we'll talk about. So I guess think of shoes as tools, and your different workouts or sessions are using the tools differently.
Yes.
And so you don't use a drill as a driver and a driver as a drill.
Exactly. It's a set of clubs.
Yeah, set of
Golf
clubs are like that too. You're not trying to hit the green with a putter.
No, exactly.
You know,
It's not going to work.
Well, it might work, but it just
They're extremely talented.
you'd have unreal shoulders.
Yeah.
Probably a really fucked thoracic.
So what we're trying to say is, if you want to race, you're probably disadvantaged yourself slightly in these shoes.
So, like daily trainers for me, they are something like longevity. That's important. Cushioning, comfort. And remember that cushioning is completely personal.
Yes.
I don't think, I can't tell someone what they should or shouldn't like.
No.
I don't believe in that. So you might like a little less cushioning, you might like a little more cushioning, whatever. And then I think, I said durability already, right?
Yes.
Yeah, durability, comfort. And then probably something that's like in that 250 to 300 New Zealand dollars.
Yeah, that's where they sit these days, isn't it?
Like I think some people might stretch out and go a bit more than that, but I feel like for the type of shoe they are and the type of shoe that you could have to do something else,
Yes.
you're probably, there's a couple in that 320 like Kayano Glycerin.
Yes.
They're touching the top end. But I feel like for the most part, they're like 270 to 80 to 90.
But they're all creeping up year on year.
Inflation.
Inflation.
And not the fun kind of the balloons. We should get a hot air balloon. That'd be fun. So we have a couple options here. I reckon, I'm going to say this out loud. I'm sorry, everybody that makes shoes. 2024 has been the least exciting trainer year in the last 3 years. Hot take.
Probably.
That's going to stab some people.
It might, but also could be due to the fact that they've made some good models previously.
True.
Do you know,
I feel like maybe everyone tried a little hard.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, we got these super trainers, they're fucking amazing. Oh, we got these racing shoes, they're really amazing. Our training shoes are going to be amazing. And you're like, do you know,
keep them simple.
the best training shoes have 3 bits.
Yep.
For example, Triumph 21. You guys like 20. You're actually 19.
I loved 2021, was it? Or maybe 19 as well. Yeah.
Oh, no, 19 didn't quite have enough.
Yeah.
20 and 21.
Awesome.
I did my whole Gold Coast prep in 21s.
Yeah.
That's not to say I don't like 22, but it's more now like a Puma-based Clifton.
Yes.
And it's just a bit much shoe for me. I'm
yet-
only little. I'm
Get
only
to
60
try it.
kilos.
Get to try it,
I'm
actually.
only 60 kilos.
But yeah, the foam, a little bit softer.
Well, yeah, and I wanted it to be the same power and PB as the speed,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Yes.
I think when you're going to have that much of it, I don't want it to be a sandbox.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But I like jogging in it if I'm fucked. Like
Legs
after
are
Sunday's
screwed.
run. Yeah, like after Sunday's run, I put it on a Monday and I'm like, oh yeah.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
nice shoe.
Like I want it to be a Ferrari, but it's,
And this overlay,
yeah.
does that make it feel? Because that would be
It's quite hot.
my only knock on the previous
Yes.
one, as it was a little bit loose.
True. The
With
upper
no
on the last
real-
one stretched though.
Yeah, just the double stitch overlay.
And I blew the toe out all the time.
yeah, to keep your midfoot and lateral side of the foot
Yeah,
a
I
little
do-
bit more stable.
I do.
But-
Yes, I agree with that. I do agree with that. But they've kind of widened it.
yeah, okay.
So
It is a lot thicker though, isn't it?
yeah, it's quite hot. Especially, it was good through the winter,
Yeah.
but not when it got wet, it got heavy.
Yeah.
But I like it, it's good. For what it is. I just think the 21 you could use for like everything. But maybe I've been greedy.
So, question.
Oh, I like questions.
Why would you pick one of these? What would you lean towards?
It's tough. I like both.
Because these are essentially, this is Puma's version of this, and this is Saucony's version.
It's interesting you say that because yes, but no. I think what I've worked out in the last, 4 years is I like firmer shoes.
Okay.
I like cushion
Yep.
in terms of having something under me.
Yep.
I'm never going back to New Balance 1500s.
Yeah.
Bro, those things were like,
A rock.
I don't even know what that was like. That was like going to the
Slab
Ashley
of-
Gorge and walking on stones.
2x4
Yeah.
on the foot.
It's like, I ran a marathon in that. I ran 2:18 in a marathon. Do you know, so I really like the nitro foam from Puma, the supercritical
Yes.
foam. I think that is elite level foam. And I like the tech upper rather than the they had the stretchy upper. You know how they had the
Yes,
previous version was
the
like pink
sock
and the
upper,
sock upper.
stocky, yeah.
I didn't like the sock upper that much. They promised me it wouldn't stretch. It did a wee bit.
It definitely serious.
Yeah. But so this tech upper with the placement of the power tape,
Yeah.
I think that's real nice. And I like the 10 mil drop. And actually Puma own the outsole.
Yeah.
Like they are kicking everyone's ass.
I'm sorry, but no one's come close to that. You could
No.
run that in the trails.
Yeah.
You could take that on
And I think like for us, there's what is like,
coast to coast even.
I don't really use trail shoes unless it's like soaking wet
Yeah.
and we're going on like a trail run.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a bitch. I probably just wouldn't run on the trail if it's that wet, to be fair.
Well, to be fair, I use that everywhere in Andorra.
You pick up your drugs in Andorra with it.
Not on any drugs.
And I like that it's got some forefoot flexibility. I have found that out too. Like I don't like my forefoot
Being restricted.
being dictated to about when it isn't allowed to leave the
Yeah.
ground.
Okay.
I don't know, that might make no sense to anyone listening. But I think they're the same idea, but they're different.
Yeah.
That is definitely like when after Sunday, my body's hammered.
You want that?
I want that.
Yeah.
But is it a daily trainer? If that's your question to me, is this the shoe that I'm going to wear? If I'm running 160K this week, am I going to wear this for 130? Like my answer is probably not.
Yeah.
I think I'd lean
Towards that.
this way.
Well, what are you wearing for? I mean, obviously the luxury of changing shoes.
Do
but
everything I want.
if you had to pick one that you would do, I
Do you
don't know,
know-
70% of your running in.
Yeah. Do you know at the moment there probably isn't one?
Yeah.
And I'm
That's true.
slightly embarrassed to say this. But I actually really like that Ultra Boost 5X.
Adidas coming to the table.
And as what's interesting is like obviously like I get to, or you've been in the position too, like we get to see things a year in advance.
Yes.
And which is super exciting but also unbelievably frustrating.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want it yesterday.
No.
And so we're picking stuff for the shop. But I quite like that. But then again, at the same time, I don't think that would be something that I'd run 130K a weekend.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'd probably pick that Magnify.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
like someone would say, I do quite like that Brooks Glycerin. I just wish they'd shave the posterior flaring off the back of it.
Yeah. It's
Catches my heel too early. But it's not made for me. I just like the firmer nitro foams for training.
Yeah.
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 I guess leading to the Tempest then.
Yeah.
Do you still use this shoe? I personally love this shoe.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in the Triumph and Tempest for the last 3 years now, and they've been pretty well for me. But this Tempest with the new upper, I think the upper was the only knock I had on the last one, because just the firmer pieces on the lateral and medial side next year.
Like that taping, eh?
Yeah, big
Heat
little
welding.
toe, and sometimes I don't know. I've got sensitive feet, so I probably just rub
Is it sensitive?
rubs my feet the
Sensitive.
wrong way. But it is. I think it's a great shoe, and I don't know
makes
about
sense.
yourself, but I feel like you could do it's quite versatile
I
in
think
the
that,
sense that you can jog in it.
Yep.
You could go up tempo even.
Yep.
It could even get down to 330s and still feel pretty
100%.
comfortable.
we had a bunch of people run 3.5 to 5 hour marathons in it.
Yeah,
Like,
and the
particularly-
stability. Oh, it's
Particularly
genius.
the stability of it.
Yeah.
I think, do you know when you first put something on and you're like, nothing could be better?
Yeah.
Like when we all put Vape 1 on for the first time.
yeah.
This is unreal.
First super shoe.
And now we're like, that's our expectation.
Yeah.
And so I think like with Tempest 2, we all put that Tempest 1 on and we were like,
Insane.
this is insane. Like 2 should be better. And the nuts and bolts of this are identical. So there's no change to the midsole or the outsole. But
Everything
what's really interesting is the flexibility and the thickness and the way the upper's pulled on completely changes the ride
Right.
of the shoe. Because it's that like on foot feel.
Yeah.
Because obviously the upper touches more of your foot
Yes.
than the sole unit. So, I mean, the feedback's kind of been like, don't worry, that's just Macca doing some filming. He's cool, man. We're busy around here. We're doing shameless plug for the YouTube channel. Floor 12 Media. Doing stuff. So I think like when you change something dramatically from one type of material upper to another, that does change the way you've got to pull that on to the midsole. And so it's going to change the shape, which means that the uppers are going to touch your foot in different ways.
Yes.
That sounds real dirty compared to the previous one. So I think the concept of the shoe is unreal. The brief, I don't think they realized the versatility of that shoe when they wrote the brief.
Yeah.
I think they wanted people to use it as a stable speed 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Endorphin speed 3.
Or having their super foam in a trainer.
But see, why couldn't they just use that material
Yeah.
and just make that out of that?
Yeah.
Sign me up. $100,000 a year. I'll make good decisions for you.
Well,
plug it.
we'll move on to.
So daily training, you want protection from the ground, durability, and a price point under 300 New Zealand, roughly around 300 New Zealand dollars. Because I did have a comment on the YouTube channel because someone from America was like, $300 American dollars. I was like, bro, calm down. We're Kiwis, man. We're Kiwis.
Expensive.
So before you pull that shoe out, how many shoe categories are there? We're going to go deep now.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I would personally say 3, maybe 4.
So you're saying...
Well, for the road. We're
okay,
leaving
for the road.
spikes
Okay,
out.
yeah. Okay, so leave spikes and trail shoes out for the meantime.
Yeah.
But even like, feel like with trail shoes now, we're getting to the point where there are corresponding categories. You've got like daily training, trail,
Yes.
up-tempo, racing.
Yeah.
So now we're in a situation where I think you've got like daily training,
Yeah.
then you've got super trainers,
Yes.
which I firmly still believe is a money grab.
It is.
From
and
the
it's
brands.
worked.
And it's 100%. I'm not complaining about it. Like, sign me
Yeah.
up. Some of those shoes, I'll use the SC trainer from New Balance tomorrow because it just feels nice.
Yes.
And then you've got the thing I love about this, where we are right now, is we have welcomed back the trainer racer.
Yes.
You probably don't remember because you might have still been in nappies. But Essex had the DS trainer.
Yes.
2000
I remember that.
2007, 2011, like roughly around there. And then they cocked it up with this weird collar thing in like 2011, 2012, and then it died.
Very
and then
low
they went to the
profile.
real minimal thing, and it was like the first version of Flight Foam felt like crap.
Yeah.
That 2009 DS trainer, elite.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ran sub 30 in that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry.
So they've been around for a while.
Been around. So, but then we had this bit where like the trainer races disappeared.
Yes. Yeah, there was nothing for a while.
There was nothing for a while, and now we're like back.
It would almost be one of the biggest, what would you call it, categories.
I think so.
There's a lot, like each brand, maybe 2, 3, or 2 options, I would say, in that
Yeah.
category.
Yeah. The only thing I think is that I don't like when the shoe companies overstack their trainer races more than their trainers because it's illegal to have the racer over
So you
40.
can't race in it.
You can't race it. Come on, guys.
Legally, if you want your time to be recorded.
But who? Is someone, let's say we're at New York
Yes.
Marathon, right? Has someone got a measuring tape? Like you're crossing the finish line, you've just run your 3-hour 25 marathon. Or were they looking over for like photos.com and being
No
like,
one's
nah,
doing
Nigel wore a pair of Magic Speeds for his fucking marathon. No one's doing that.
No
And if they are, that's elite level commitment.
No, they're not doing that.
You're getting an asterisk, mate.
Yeah, exactly. No one's doing that. They're not, unless you're in the pro field, I think that's when it kind of,
100%.
or you're not in the pro field and you run something crazy fast. That would probably be.
Like
more
I'd be taking blood before I worried about what shoe you're
what the
wearing.
shoes. But
Because then you got that, like, someone did that study, and I'll stop gas bagging in a minute, but someone did that study of like extra weight, extra stack, like where's the trade-off?
Yeah.
Like when does it become like not worth it? And it was like, you can have 45 mil stack shoe, like the strung Adidas super stack thing, whatever it is. And that's so heavy that you lose any benefit you would have got from the, anyway, shut up, Oscar. So we've trainers, super trainers. What are you putting the super trainer? Trainer Elite, New Balance, Super Blast.
Super Blast.
The
Mark
grey
X.
zone shoe.
Mark 1 maybe.
Oh, yep. And what are we, Mark X2 now?
Yep. About to come out.
That's not far away.
The Rebel, would you? New Balance Rebel?
Nah, it's not
What's
good
their
enough.
other one?
That's the SC trainer.
SC Trainer.
But it's got a plate in it. So you feel
Okay, that's the other
that's
question.
the debate. We don't have to
Do
do
they
that
need
today.
plates,
No.
or is the foam doing enough?
Stiffening agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of them are composite.
Said that
plates.
very provocatively.
They're not
Stiffening
carbon.
agent.
They're a mix. They're a blend, right?
Compound. Yep.
Yeah.
P-backs. But plastic can be harder than the carbon depending on how thick the carbon is.
Speed as well.
Speed. Fair.
Magic Speed.
Super trainer. Yep.
Saucony Speed.
That's blurry.
Yeah.
But I think most people, like so I say most people in the non-condescending way, could probably race really well in those shoes.
Yeah. Well, that's where it blends together.
Sometimes
like
I think
what-
we just give things labels to.
Yeah. And I guess really, ultimately, I guess it comes down to the person wearing it and how fast they're wanting to run in it.
Yeah.
Whether that kind of determines whether they use it as a racer or as a workout shoe.
Yep.
Because I guess for us, the trainer racer would be like I mean, you could use it for like your workout on Saturday.
Yeah.
A faster long run or a up tempo workout, tempo essentially as well.
Yep.
If you didn't want to go in your racing shoe,
It's basically just I want to pay $100 less
Yeah.
to fuck my shoe.
something with a little same. Honestly, the same.
I'm going to put an
amount of fun.
explicit thing on this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody.
I'm doing pretty well. I
Yeah,
feel
Tom's
like.
trying to keep me on track here, and I'm like, I'm thinking about bagels.
I was just hungry.
I'm hungry.
So I guess, I mean, there's more on the shelf, but that's kind
nice.
of is the category that it falls into,
Yeah.
right?
So I think it's heavier and more durable than your racing shoe. Asics have done pretty well to
Not as responsive. Either.
differentiate. So this is still using EVA. The Magic Speed stuff, the Meta Speed stuff is obviously using PIBA. New Balance have gone the way of like mixing PIBA and EVA together.
Yes.
And like their Rebel V4, their Supercomp trainer, obviously Mizuno with their Neo Vista, that was like EVA.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're seeing is we're still seeing that the complexity of producing PIBA-based midsoles means that we're looking at $400.
Yeah.
And so the trainer races are still using an EVA or a supercritical EVA. Like probably the best in the category is that Puma DB83 because that's like a supercritical nitro.
Yeah. And then they throw the plate in there
And they
just to
throw the plate in just because it's a buzzword.
add some stiffness, add some
I will
stability
say, and
maybe.
I've got this is completely anecdotal, and I've got no research to back this up. So quote me. I think it's not a bad thing to have a plate in the shoe that you're going to do your marathon workouts in to get used to the biomechanical demands
Yes.
of what your race day footwear might ask of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's what a lot of customers ask.
Yeah.
Is how often should I be in my race shoe? And I guess a lot of the time people say, "Oh, just keep it for racing," but you've also got to learn how to run
12 hours, they reckon, average.
in that shoe.
12 hours of use.
Yeah,
I don't know where I read that.
which is probably
I think it's pretty accurate.
pretty fair.
I feel like they wear about spikes. Although my body's so old and broken now that if I wore spikes for 12 hours.
These will do in the track. You can wear
Do you
these on
reckon-
the track and you're
Do you
just
reckon,
as
and
fast.
I don't expect anyone from Athletics New Zealand to listen to this, and if they are, I'm sorry. If someone can have a TUE for an asthma inhaler, can I have a TUE to wear racing flats on the track
For no ligament.
for no ligament in my ankle?
It's probably-
I reckon that's a
probably
fair
a
chat.
question,
That's fair
to be
chat.
fair. Yeah.
So anyway, that's sidetrack. That's just pure personal. I'm sorry. I'm going to bring that up multiple times over the next few weeks, just because track season is coming and I really want to run. So then we got race day shoes, and
Better
do you know? Please don't wear these to the gym,
speed.
bro.
Or walking them.
Walking at least is locomotive.
Yeah, but you just, I mean, I guess if you have the money to buy them and that's what you want to do, then by all means, but not what they're designed for.
I don't think so, man. I mean, whatever. So what are we looking at here, Turbo?
You have the Metaspeed Paris Edge.
I reckon that's the closest thing to Vape One.
Yeah,
The Nike
I would
Vaporfly one.
say it's
Yeah.
one of the better ones on the market.
Feels
right
unreal.
now. And then the Endorphin Elite.
Yep.
Probably the longer distance of the two.
I think so.
I would say half marathon up.
Yeah.
10K
I mean, I
you
ran
get
my
like-
64.
10K you could run it, but
Yeah.
there are probably faster options to run a 10K in.
Yeah, what I found was, like, for my gait, was that when I tried to take that Endorphin Elite to a sub 3, I had to really work hard at it to get it going, and I ended up landing real lateral.
Yeah.
Like, I was working super hard.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like, say, with the Meta Speed Sky
Yep.
and Edge, its natural gait
Yeah.
is sub 3s for me. Like,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
5K, 10K effort.
Yeah.
I used that New Balance Pacer V2
Mm-hmm.
on Sunday for the 2x30 minutes. I don't mind that being close to the ground.
Yeah. Well, you'd be able to put more power through the shoe essentially, and not have as much lag time.
It's interesting, because like we're starting to talk about the velocity of the energy return or the velocity of the foam return. So like the
Yeah.
resiliency of it, how quickly you can like compress it for it to come back at you. And I think when you're running faster, you're spending less time on the ground.
But you're putting more.
Yeah, but you're putting more into it. So
Pressure.
like, yeah, I think like for me, I definitely like a shoe that has decent comfort under my forefoot, but maybe the plate slightly closer to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, this shoe's been, I guess, your favorite marathon shoe
Yeah.
for a while now.
Yeah.
Probably more so the shape of the shoe and the
Yeah,
stability.
it's just comfort of it. Yeah.
Yeah, comfortable.
Yeah.
Tips you off the front nicely.
Yeah.
Split plate?
Yeah. I like the control of it, lateral to medial,
Yeah.
for sure.
So for viewers that don't know, there is a little cut down the middle. So it's a little fork, which is quite smart, and other brands do it as well.
Yeah.
Just allowing you to distribute your pressure
Forces. Yeah.
more evenly. So yeah, that's probably one of the top. And it's crazy to me that you don't see more people wearing it in big marathons, but I think that's just because the brand.
Yeah, or distribution.
And they don't have the athletes to.
It's hard
promote
to,
it.
like, anyone's like, oh my God, Alpha Flight 3 is amazing.
Yeah. Nah, this is.
I like that. I wore that Gold Coast last year. I wore that at World Champs half marathon. I wore that in the Gold Coast Marathon this year. I actually, when I ran that 64 flat in Wanaka, I wore that.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was 2 degrees.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pick races
In the
that are
valley.
2 degrees.
Yeah.
Like-
you need to run the cold, man.
Yeah, I'm going to run the cold. I'm going to move to
Antarctic
Antarctica Marathon. I'm going to run 2:11 in Antarctica. Unreal, imagine that.
Yeah.
Maybe for 38k. Yeah, so they're kind of a shoe rotation, and I'll say this: you do not need to stay in brand.
No.
Like, I think there's like this notion where if you wear a Essex 2000, you've got to have a Magic Speed and a Meta Speed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's true anymore. And remembering that the shoe companies are using like all different lasts
Yeah.
for different product lines. So you might really fit that 2000 amazing, but the last shape of the Meta or whatever just doesn't work for you, but the Saucony Pro 4 does.
Yeah.
So I think obviously it's easy for us. We can try them all on the shop stuff. But
Fit, feel, function
fit, feel, function. I'm gonna trademark that.
Yeah.
Is it trademark? No, would it patent?
in the shop.
In the shop. That's where we go. Fit, feel, function. I mean, it's hard unless you can try them on, but so that's kind of like, and work on that. My next piece of advice is don't buy all of them in the same category at the same time.
Yeah.
So split the cash flow up.
Yeah.
Don't do an Oscar in order.
And the purpose, well, the purpose of a shoe rotation, how
Good chat.
yeah, how vital is that to staying healthy? I think it's pretty important. But
I think that's the only thing they can prove. Who was I listening to some guys? Maybe Dogs Are Running. They're saying like strength training and a shoe rotation are the only two things that they can like unequivocally say reduces the risk of energy, and because each shoe is going to ask different things of your body.
Yeah.
Change gait patterns. And
yeah,
so you're not like overstressing. So here's a good question for you. Where do you, someone's like getting up there in their mileage, their weekly mileage.
Yeah.
At what point do you feel like someone begins to benefit from having more than one pair of shoes?
So during the week.
Yeah. So say someone's running 30k a week.
Yeah.
And they're going out for the easy 7k runs. So say they're 45-minute runs or whatever.
Yeah. I would say after workouts for sure.
Yeah.
Is probably pretty important.
Yeah.
If you've gone and done a big workout or a longer run, and then you go back into a shoe that's too firm or too soft, it's gonna affect you differently, obviously. So yeah, after big workouts, I think just in feel in general, a lot of people that are training for something sometimes find it hard to get out the door.
Oh yeah.
So having even just as simple as having a shoe that you want to put on and like running in,
There is something.
compared to something
There
that
is
you're
something
like,
about that.
oh, been told to run in, maybe, that I guess scientifically is the right shoe for you, but doesn't feel as great. There could be a little something in that. And then I would say, long run in general. Like the long run is, I guess, a staple of anyone's program in distance running.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to run a 5K to a marathon, there's going to be some sort of longer run. And
Aerobic based run.
yeah, and that's something that would be the run that I think would be one where you definitely want a shoe that you're most comfortable in.
Nice.
Because otherwise it's going to give you blisters or,
Yeah, I think there's something in that like having fun thing as well.
Yeah.
Like
for
shoes
sure.
are fun.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to go out and you're like, say for you, you're
All
Can't
these
use-
glorious colours as well.
don't even start that. I got a meme for that as well. It's my baby crying. That's how I feel. So I was like, "You got another colour?
Different colours. Oh, jeez.
No. You've opened Cannon Worms.
No, we're not going over that
Cannon
today.
Worms is over. But I think you're right. You do your warm up. You put your trainer or your racer on.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I'm ready to go.
I'm on. This feels fun and exciting.
Yeah.
Whereas if trying to work out on those Triumph 22s, it'd be like,
Yeah.
it'd be like pushing a trolley with a brake on.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. Or
It'd
leaving the
work.
handbrake on the
It'd be
car. or something.
unfun.
Just no good.
I like that, leaving the handbrake on the car. My brakes would stink.
Yeah. It's just you're just disadvantaged.
So my ankles would be those brakes.
Yeah. Not doing yourself a good service.
My ankles would be those brakes.
Gonna
That's funny.
break down a lot quicker.
But
yeah, workouts, long runs, and then positivity.
positivity.
Vibes. Yeah, enjoying the run.
Vibes. Bringing the vibes. Running is vibes though. Hagley Park is vibes right now.
Yeah,
The blossoms.
running in New Zealand, I feel like it's just. I mean, could be the same. And I honestly didn't notice that big of a hold, and when I was even in Boulder, which is like a pretty big running mecca, I would say, and distance running, way more people with run clubs and stuff in New Zealand and Australia.
I reckon it. Well, and also I think we're like accessible and safe.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
As a whole,
Yeah,
like,
it is a lot safer.
it's our accessibility to like running on the Port Hills or around Hagley Park or even in the forest. There's some parts of the forest I want to frame with.
I also think this is a hot take, but
Hot take, oh no.
no, it's nothing bad.
53
but I think
minutes
that,
in hot take.
I think because New Zealand had such strict, harsh lockdowns,
True.
that was a big factor in people taking up running because you could run, you were allowed to run.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to go to the pool.
What
You
if
weren't
that
allowed
was a
to do
whole
any
giant
other
social
activities.
experiment to get rid of obesity? I said it out loud.
Yeah, I mean,
that's unreal. If they went to that extreme, I feel like making Coke $5 would be easier.
yeah, probably.
Okay,
But Coke is great post-run
Is it?
drink. Yeah,
maybe if you're running 100 miles a week.
sugar. Just put
Wow.
that sugar in it.
Yeah, true.
Blood sugar's up.
Nah, Fanta. Do you know after the
Caffeine, a little bit of caffeine.
after the Gold Coast, all I could stomach was Fanta.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how much I drank?
How many?
I drank 2.25
Oh, jeez.
in the day. I felt like absolute shit. And then we had these. We went out for dinner, and like, I was not in a mood. I don't know how we got back here, but anyway. And I bought this bottle of wine. I don't even know. I don't even like wine. What is wine? It's like off grapes.
Yeah.
And we were in this pizza restaurant that had unreal Google reviews, 5 stars.
Yeah.
Bro, we got Google review catfished.
That was average.
It was like, I'm not gonna say where it is because fair enough.
We're not gonna.
But then we bought these pizzas, and I only went there because it said they had vegan cheese, and I'm one of those losers that can't have cheese. And you can't get mad at me if you're one of those losers because I lump myself in with being a loser.
He's fine.
So I bought this. This is a long-winded story. I bought this bottle of wine. It was like Jacob's Creek. I can't Shiraz. I don't even know. It was the only time in my life I wish red wine was cold. Like, it was horrific.
Oh no.
You're drinking it, and there's 6 of you around this table when you bought this bottle of wine. Everyone's too polite to tell you to shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
So anyway,
Fanta lemons, actually.
Fanta lemons.
That's
yeah.
another one that they had in Europe that they don't have here. Fanta lemons.
What
Craig
is-
Kirkwood's favorite drink.
What has happened?
Back
What
to
has
Kirkwood.
happened? What has happened? You said the quote. Yeah. Anyway, basically, it just says marathons suck and don't do them. I'm joking.
You'll feel good for like 10K and or 20K and then.
Wow. Some days you run a marathon and you feel like shit at 6K and you're like, wow, this is gonna be a long ass day. Yeah. Just look forward to the next.
I mean,
gel.
I can't speak on that. I would never run a marathon, so
Yeah, but I feel like you're gonna run.
I'm a
If you're gonna do 70.3,
I'm a few years away from
that's
that.
a marathon. All right.
Yeah, maybe.
You got anything else?
I think that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. So
Jump to some new things next week.
100%. I got nothing else. Make sure you. Oh, actually, before we sign off, Run Club started back this week.
Pissing down the
On
throat.
Tuesday, it was. Oh,
Well, it was for a little bit.
was for a little bit. I'd like to say thank you to the 45 hardy souls, which are probably the only 45 people which will listen to all of this. Like, you guys are hanging on. So by listening for the last hour, you get a
Just
high.
wait till the end.
You get a high five from me. It's been like 45 run from the shop, easy 30 minutes. Nice new route linking all the parks southwest of the shop. It's pretty cool. Great vibes, and so it's a great way to kick the season off. next week, Tuesday night, we're going to be in Hagley Park, meeting at the Hagley Park. We're going to start the workout. We're going to do some fartlek stuff. So it's a combination of like on-offs, which I think will be real fun. Still going to be a little bit dark spring at Head Torch, but that's what I want to say about that. And if you have never joined us for Run Club, search Frontrunner and Team CP NZ Run Club on Facebook. Or you can go to the website. Mac is coming back in. It's all good. It's fine, mate. Come on in. Just crank it up. Crank it. I always got a little bagel. Fridays at the Colombo, little market, some delicious treats. Often buy the guys some Danish croissants or something. Anyway, what was I talking about? Run Club. So if you go to the website and then you go to resources, I need a better word for resources. So if someone comes up with a better word, let me know. Because everyone's, what is resources? I'm like, well, it's not 2x4 and nails. You click on that and it'll give you all the guff to come join us. Second part of that is the YouTube channel's up. Macca and I are working on videos that just explain the basics and a little bit more of shoes that are coming in every fortnight. Aiming for 6-7 videos every fortnight, and they'll also be available on the website to look at. Last part of that is join the Strava Run Club. The Run Club on Strava. We're up to 1,000 members on there, which is pretty cool. And so I think what I've noticed was like how when you meet someone, and this is it, and then we'll sign off because I know you got to go ride your bike. But when you're like at Run Club, right, and someone says, "Oh, hey, I'm Harry," and then you run with them.
Yes.
By me and names, is like the longevity of litmus paper.
Yeah.
It's gone. Like one single use. Yeah. Get rid of it. I don't know where I got litmus paper from.
You meet a lot of people.
Yeah. And so, but then you're like too embarrassed at the end of the run because you've had like life chats with Harry. You're like, how many kids you got? When did you get married? You're like, I'm so sorry, something happened in your life. Like you've had like D&M for 40 minutes. And then you get back and you're like, bro, what is his name? Was it Harold? Was it Henry? So when you join, the whole point of this story was when you join the Strava Run Club, you'll run together obviously on a Tuesday night. You can go find the person you ran with, search it down, stalk his photo, and his name was Harry.
And message him.
And join out and run on the week. That's why. So thank you, Strava, for allowing us to stalk our friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
That's it.
Eat your veggies. Later, gators.
Enjoy your week.
We all.